And don't look now, but the hottest team in the WNBA are the Indiana Fever. They've won 5 straight games, which ties their longest win streak in the last 10 seasons. Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston have dominated, averaging 19 and 15 points per game, respectively. And the Fever have kicked it up a level as of late with their longest active win streak in the W right there. Indiana has also moved up, and the standings are now just a game and a half back of second place in the league. And how lucky are we? We've got head coach Stephanie White live in studio here with us. Thank you so much for taking the time. And just as I mentioned, you guys won 5 straight games. How are you guys finding ways to win games, especially without Caitlin Clark on the floor?
Yeah, we're really just finding a way. I think chemistry, continuity, this is a team that really pulls for each other. It's a really deep team, so you can't really key on 1 or 2 players without Caitlin on the floor, especially. And they've got connectivity on both ends. I think our defense has improved. Offensively, we're moving the ball, getting a lot of players touches. The ball's finding the right shot, and it's just been a really fun group to coach. They've been incredibly resilient.
Yeah, and speaking of Caitlin Clark, she's only played 13 of 29 games. She's been in and out of the lineup, obviously, with the injuries. When you take a look at Caitlin Clark, one, what's her status, and also what's the plan to get her back out there on the court?
Yeah, it's day-to-day right now.
Yeah.
We're really just putting no timetable on it, going through the rehab process, and then we want to reintegrate her from a strength and conditioning standpoint and then get her back to basketball activities. So we're taking it one day at a time, really slow rolling it, slow playing it this time. She tried to come back a couple of times and just had setbacks along the way. So the most important thing for us is Caitlin's long-term health, getting her back to 100% before we put her back on the floor.
All that said, it is not easy to go from having a ball-dominant player like Caitlin Clark on your team one day and then not on your team for long stretches and then back and then back and then not out. How are you guys shifting gears each time?
Yeah, that's been the toughest part, and I think you saw it early when she was in and out of the lineup, just adjusting because she has so much gravity on the offensive end. We run things differently on the floor when she's on the floor offensively. Now we go smaller. We have a little bit more versatility, I would say, on the defensive end of the floor. But again, I think this group is we have some plug-and-play players that they don't care what their role is. They just want to get out there. They just want to compete, and we've found a little bit of a rhythm right now. And so when we re-implement and get Caitlin back in the floor, reintegrate her, I think we're going to be that much more dangerous.
Coach, I got to ask you about the turn-up. I've been in a bunch of NBA championship locker rooms, and the Thunders was a dud. Like, tell me about y'all turn-up. Yeah, we won the Commissioner's Cup, and man, y'all had the best time.
The turn-up was real, right? I mean, we got players who really enjoy one another, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Connectivity in the locker room. You saw it, and celebrating the victories along the way. So important for us, continuing to take steps forward and stack days, and we've been able to do that. This is a really selfless group. We talk about playing for the we over the me all the time, and they choose that every single day. I was really proud of them in this moment to be able to come in and to win that championship on Minnesota's home floor, and then we might.
Well, who was the best and worst dancer?
Who was the best dancer?
And the worst.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I feel like you got to check social.
I saw you dance a little bit.
You got to check social for that. Just a little bit.
Okay, they didn't show any of that video.
A very little bit.
This is somebody like Kelsey Mitchell has been on the team forever, right? And she goes back to when you couldn't even play at the Gainbridge. They were doing refurbishing that place. And how important was a game like that or a win like that for her?
It was huge. I feel like Kelsey Mitchell has experienced every bit of the highs and lows of the Indiana Fever franchise and really deserves to be where she is and where we are right now. I mean, she has really lifted us in the absence of Caitlin. She's been playing incredible basketball, but to have her and this group be able to celebrate a win like that was important. Like that was one of our goals. It's not the ultimate goal, but to be able to get that midway through the season to really catapult us, I think has been huge.
A lot of people I don't think know about you. You're a former Miss Indiana basketball. You won a national championship at Purdue. You were actually on the Fever's first team.
Yes.
And now you're coaching there. What does Indiana basketball mean to you, and what does the Fever personally mean to you in being back there your first season?
This franchise is just a part of my DNA. Growing up in Indiana, playing most of my career in the state of Indiana, being a part of the first Indiana Fever team, being a part of the first championship Fever team, and then being able to coach in this organization. It's been huge for me. I take a lot of pride in basketball in the state of Indiana. I take a lot of pride in this franchise and being a part of this franchise. And You know, Kelly Krauskopf is back with our organization, who really was the architect of our first championship and has been the backbone of this franchise. And to work with her and Amber Cox and to be able to coach generational talent like Caitlin Clark. And, you know, we really do just have a great group of human beings and a strong group of women that are leading our organization.
And when Caitlin Clark does return to the floor, how is she going to help elevate this team even more down the stretch of the season?
Well, she demands so much gravity on the defensive end of the floor. She's constantly seeing multiple players, and she makes the right reads and makes the right plays for our group. So she's going to continue to allow us to stretch the floor. We're going to be able to, I think everybody else will be able to get more higher percentage looks because of what she demands on the defensive end of the floor. And she brings our own defensive versatility because of her length, because of her size. So we'll certainly look different. I think we'll be that much more dangerous on offense in particular.
And you've made some pretty strong statements about the officiating in the WNBA this season. Everybody has. Everybody's been talking about the physicality and everything like that. What's been the difference since you made that statement to what you're seeing right now?
I don't know if there's been a lot of difference. I think the biggest thing is that we just want accountability, right? We want everybody to continue to grow. This league and the players are as good as it's ever been, and they are as good and as versatile as they've ever been, and we want that trend to continue to grow in all facets of our league. And you know, no one has been shy about speaking up about it. The players deserve it. Our game deserves it.
And why has it been so physical? Like, I've noticed that just watching the games. And I get it. You know, you want to go out there and be physical. You want to go out there and be tough. But it does feel a little bit different this season.
I think as players, you will always be as physical as they will allow. I mean, these are the ultimate competitors, right? The best in the world at what they do. Any edge that you can get to win a ball game, you're going to take advantage of it. And I think the physicality is, because it's being allowed to be that way, everybody's stepping up to it. And everybody's embracing it in their own way.
Yeah.
Coach, Caitlin gets such a big spotlight. Who needs to be talked about more?
Aaliyah Boston, for sure. I mean, she is our backbone. You know, she really is the rock of our team. You know, we utilize her in a different way than she's been utilized throughout the course of her career as a hub. And, you know, she's been a player that we can play through. She's been reliable. She's been consistent. She's high IQ. We've asked her to do more on the defensive end, and she stepped up to every single challenge. And AB's a player who came into this league a low block dominant player. Now we're putting the ball in her hands. We're utilizing her in the offseason. I said, I want you to watch Jokic.
Yeah. And now she's talking about it all day with Candace Parker on a podcast.
Yes, love that.
You okay with all these, everyone with the podcast?
I am.
Making some headlines?
No, I think it's going to be great. I mean, I got to see them at the All-Star, and I think they're going to be great. I mean, two strong women leading the way. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking the time out and hanging out with us here on NBA Today. Alexa, we have to talk about Napheesa Collier and that ankle injury. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, Amina. Well, Cheryl Reeves said that Napheesa Collier was going to undergo imaging and further testing to see exactly the severity of that ankle injury, and that they're going to worry until they know more about Collier's status, given how amazing of a season she's having. And they're obviously hoping that she avoided the most serious of possibilities for that injury. And so I would expect they have a game in Seattle tomorrow. I expect that the first thing that we'll hear from the team on her status, at least going into that game, will be when the injury report comes out in a few hours from now. But obviously the concern is on her long-term health, especially going into what they hope is a successful run towards a championship later on this season.
Yeah, and aside from that, Minnesota did acquire DiJonai Carrington from the Wings on Sunday. What will her addition mean for this Lynx team and their push towards the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I think the Lynx were looking for a piece to add to their wing depth, especially after Carly Samuelson went down with that season-ending foot injury earlier this season. And DiJonai Carrington brings such a great defensive versatility that should really help them in some matchups, and something that she can really bring as a spark off the bench for them. But even more so than that, they wanted a piece that could come in and a veteran who was had experience going through deep playoff runs, and that was DiJonai Carrington, especially during her time in Connecticut to start her career. It's almost similar, different player and different position than how they traded for Maisha Hines-Allen last season going into that eventual finals run too, and they're hoping obviously DiJonai can help have a different result going into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, DiJonai, a huge defensive pickup for that team as well. And finally, there was a lot of talk this weekend around the possible sale and subsequent relocation of the Connecticut Sun to Boston. Alexa, how far are we away from this becoming a reality?
Well, I really want people to understand that this is not something that has been a done deal or is even really approved right now, because Connecticut Sun president Jennifer Rosati said that they're still in the phase of trying to get this done. This is not by any means at the finish line. And you can really tell what's happening if you're looking at these different statements that came out from the WNBA and from this prospective buyer of the team, Celtics minority owner Steve Pagliuca. The league was saying that that relocation is up to the Board of Governors and not by individual teams. It talked about in their statement the fact that there were 9 other expansion cities that were possible expansion cities that filed bids to try and get a WNBA team there, that Boston was not one of them, and that Boston is not the priority over those other teams right now. If you look at the statement from Pagliuca, he said that he put in this offer that he wants to bring or keep this team in New England and have it at these larger capacity arenas, but that the approval is at the hands of the league and the WNBA Board of Governors. So just reading between the lines, I think there's a lot of tension right now. There's a difference in what the league wants for this possible sale and how that's going to look like, and what the Mohegan Tribe, the owners of the Connecticut Sun, want as they look for next steps of the franchise.
Yeah, I can tell you from being in Boston, they are itching for a WNBA team. Sold out both times the Connecticut Sun had played at TD Garden. Alexa Philippou with the latest. Thanks so much.